Hey folks, Dave Nadig, financial futurist here at Vettafi. Wanted to make 5 quick points about AI. We're going to be talking a little bit about this more in a webinar next week. But here's 5 things I really want to drive home. Number 1, the stuff we've got with AI right now is surprisingly useful. Whether you're just using ChatGPT-4 with a bunch of plugins, or you're trying to use it as part of your process to work with documents, or even just helping it work with a draft of something that you've written to a client to maybe tighten it up or catch a point you might have missed, the tools are really good. It's worth learning how to use them. Point number 2, the consumer level stuff isn't as good as it could be, but it's changing really fast. Right now, the free publicly available models, whether it's ChatGPT 3.5, they're okay, but the real power is when you get under the hood of the more expensive models, even if it's just the $20 a month version from OpenAI. That's when you can start doing things like accessing plugins. That's where the real power starts to come through. Third point I want to make is that while the comparisons to the dot-com boom aren't insane, this is 1995, not 2001. This is that crazy era of the internet before capitalism took it all over and everything was run by a company, where individuals and programmers and activists and artists were playing around with the internet, seeing what it could do. We're at that exciting, fun part before everybody's figured out how to try to make money on it. That's the part you should be leaning into. If you're just looking to make money, you may have to wait a bit. That's point number 4, which is there is no easy money here in AI. It's difficult to get access to the companies doing the core work, and it's not clear they're going to make any money either. OpenAI is talking about trying to raise $100 billion. That's with a B, just to fund their next development. Instead, maybe it makes sense to look at companies that are going to be most affected by AI and look for the winners there, whether that's robotics and automation, logistics, even retailers who are really leaning in. Walmart, for instance, doing a lot of their negotiation now with chatbots trained for that purpose. Those are where I think a lot of their early gains are going to come, not in AI companies, but in companies that use AI well. 5th point's regulation. We're going to get some, whether we want it or not. Europe's going to pass the European AI Act. That's going to do a lot of the kinds of things I suspect we'll end up doing in the US when we get around to passing some rules about this stuff. It's not stopping innovation in its tracks. It's putting in some basic guidelines around whether you have the right to know whether you're talking to a human being or a bot. Those kinds of things seem pretty straightforward. Some basic safety mechanisms about what you can release to the general public and whether that has to be tested or verified or auditable, those seem like pretty easy solutions, pretty easy yeses from me. And I don't think that we have to go the way we've gone with crypto here, where we don't regulate it at all until we shut it all down because we tell you it should have been regulated based on existing regulations nobody understood. That's it for me. Hope we'll see you next week. Cheers.